All right, y'all, let's get back to talking to the 50 and over crowd about dating and relationships. I am in that age bracket. So if this is the first time to my channel, I am Vee Mindful. I'm a relationship coach and published author. And on this channel, y'all, we talk about everything related to relationships. Y'all, let's just jump right into it. What are the top 5 mistakes that I see people who are in this mature age bracket, the mistakes that they're making when they're out here dating? Now, for whatever reason, because I've had people on TikTok say some little slick things at their mouths about, ew, why are people 15 over dating? Because life happens. People get married, people get divorced, people pass away. We have widows. We have people who never got married and have waited until their kids have matured and left the house and have graduated high school and went off to college. And now they're about to get out here and date. Regardless of the reason, I feel like it don't freaking matter. Right? You out here, you 50 plus, you 60 or whatever your age is, and you are out here trying to find a new relationship. But y'all, let's talk about the top 5 mistakes that I see you guys are making as a dating and relationship coach. And y'all, let's work on it. This is for men and women. This is not just for women. My content is for men and women. The top mistake, I'm not even gonna say the top mistake. Mistake number one, y'all, is y'all are dating like it is still 1990. Y'all, I graduated high school back in the 90s, and I get it. It was a simpler time back then, right? I like you, you like me. Oh, we go together now. Y'all, those days are gone. Those days of just, I'm going to go out and meet somebody at the grocery store, and then we're going to build this life together. And now we're going to live happily ever after. Those days are gone. So you got to adjust to today's dating world. Yes. What does that mean, though? Does that mean that I have to join every dating app? No, but you are going to have to join a couple. Okay. Or even start with one. Even though I'm not a huge proponent of using dating apps, but I can't really sit here and tell you that you can completely avoid them because it's not true. We're not going out as much as we used to. Y'all remember the house party? Because I know I did. I used to get down in them house parties, right? We used to have a good time in the 90s, right? And if you partied in the 80s, I'm a little jealous, right? Because I feel like that was the party decade, the 80s. I didn't get to party in the 80s because I was still a little girl. But I did party in the 90s. You best to believe that. Those days are not here anymore. Right. Anytime you turn on the news, like you can't even legit honk the horn at anybody because people are disappearing from this earth left and right. Right. So we're not going out as much because what? And not and even the young folks. I have 3 adult sons. They definitely don't go out like how we used to go out, how we could safely go to a house party and come back home. Or in my daddy's age when they used to have the quarter parties, right? Pay a quarter and you could party all night. Yeah, we have to come to the realization that those days are over with and they're never coming back. So you do have to adjust to today's dating world. And the sooner you do that, the better. You have to get outside. You cannot rely on just going down to the local Piggly Wiggly. And not to say that it doesn't happen or it never happens. You never know when and where you're going to meet somebody who you align with. But I could tell you where you ain't going to meet them, sitting on your couch every night doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? We do have to get out. And the reality is the world isn't getting out as much, let alone us at our older age. We're just not getting out as much. So you got to adjust to today's dating world, not even today's dating world. You have to adjust. You have to adjust to today's world. It is a different world. Mistake number two, y'all. We mistake comfortability to compatibility. And what does that mean? Because I'm telling you, I know, look, I get it. I'm up there with y'all. I get it. We typically like to do the same things over and over again, right? We don't want to try anything new at 50. A lot of us don't. But if you don't, you will get stuck in believing that, well, this is what I know. And so therefore, I'm not going to adjust. This is all I know. And this makes me feel comfortable. Well, being comfortable is not going to allow you to grow. What you did with your last partner, even if you were with that last partner, especially if you were with that last partner 20, 30 years, let me tell you, You have got to adjust. You cannot assume that I'm comfortable. This is what makes me feel like I'm myself. Well, how do you know what yourself is supposed to feel like when you've been doing the same thing day in and day out, right? It might be something that you're doing every day just because you're doing it out of habit. It may not be something that you're actually doing because you actually want to. Like it aligns with your very soul and your spirit. We got to get out of this mindset that because I'm comfortable here, this is where I belong. But I don't know if life is meant to be lived just being comfortable, right? I want adventure. I want genuine love. I want compatibility. I want that vulnerable type love. I want to feel something. Yes, I want my relationship to feel like home. Don't get me wrong. I want it to feel peaceful. Don't get me wrong. I get that. Life is about growth. And especially, I feel like in our 50s, life is about a transition. You should be doing different things, doing them a different way, becoming somebody new, a better version of yourself. Please don't mistake being comfortable with compatibility. Another mistake that I see we're making, y'all, is as we get older, we have built these set of skills, right? Like we have all built these set of skills that define who we are, and there's nothing wrong with that. I too have built up a resume of all of these attributes that make V completely understandable. But y'all, that resume that I built up does not equate to that is who V is. So do not go out here and start dating based on the set of skills that you have acquired, right? And that you're leading with these skills. I'm highly competent. I'm motivational, right? I'm an excellent public speaker. Whatever those skills are, that does not equate to compatibility. That does not equate to a romantic partnership. That just made those skills just are who you have become over the years. But you cannot lead with that in any type of relationship. Who are you? What do you like to do? These are things that you really have to focus on and not rely so heavily on the resume that you've built up for the last several years. Okay. Another mistake that I see we mature people are doing out here in this dating world, y'all, identifying with your trauma. Oh, I just don't trust easily. I am who I am. Oh, no, I don't adjust easily. You have lived a certain way for so long that you have encapsulated every bit of what you feel like has made you you. Maybe somebody told you that you weren't good at baking cookies. That one person told you that you sucked at baking cookies. So in your mind, that is who you are. But is it? Maybe they just didn't have a great palate for cookies. We cannot, especially at our age right now, I feel like we cannot allow society and other people who don't be paying our bills to define who we are. Right? So you are more, so much more than a trauma that you experienced from when you were growing up. You are so much more than that label that somebody gave you or you gave yourself 20 years ago. Right? Why not learn a set of new skills? Why not learn to identify a different way? The way is the same way you can identify with somebody negative or something negative. You can legit turn that around and identify as something positive. Do not let the identity that somebody else gave you, or again, that you gave yourself, to define who you can be today and tomorrow. Right? I am not my trauma. I am not the BS that I dealt with in my last relationships. I'm not her anymore. So why would I identify as her? Right? Growth needs to continuously happen in your lives. If you're not growing, you honestly are dying. Right? And so let's not be in a place to where we are who we are. I am what I am. And that's just, they don't like it. They could just kick rocks. Well, if that's your mindset, I'm gonna tell you that's a terrible mindset to have. Because I feel like there's so much life to still be lived. Just because you were a certain way many years ago, it doesn't mean that you can't become somebody new today. Before I give my last tip, y'all, let me just say I have a free webinar coming up December 16th, and I'm going to go live on YouTube to really talk about it, promote it because it's free. Yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the description below. It is a live event where I will have a panel, and we want to talk about relationships as far as from the man's perspective, from the woman's perspective. This is nothing divisive. I would never do divisive content. All of my content is to help, not to divide. My goal is to bring us together, men and women, and to improve our relationships because relationships are dying, right? People have stopped dating. People have stopped looking and searching for love. They just say, you know what? I'm just going to swing on my porch and just die out the rest of my days by myself. But why is that? Why can't we just decide and choose to become better? Choose to improve our skills. So anyway, y'all, please join my webinars called Love for the Holidays. So if you're single, especially through this holiday season, y'all, why don't we just spend our holiday season together celebrating and honoring the love that is about to come into your life. Okay. Another mistake that I see, not just 50 and over are making, but I think everybody's making. People really think that a connection, compatibility, a relationship is supposed to magically happen. Like, well, we don't click, we ain't supposed to be together. And y'all, that is I can't even begin to tell you how furthest from the truth that is. Y'all, any type of relationship that you're going to have or you want or that you're currently in, you have to constantly nurture it. You cannot just expect that to just magically happen. You go to work every day, you're working 8 hours a day, you're putting in hard work into your job. You do have to put in work into your relationship. You have to learn relationship skills, communication skills, how to manage and handle conflict. These are things that you have to work at. And creating that intimacy in your relationship is something that both people have to be committed in establishing and creating. We create the connections, we create the love. Things don't just magically happen. I don't just be skipping down the street and magically fall into a sunshine and bucket of Skittles and rainbows, right? And just say, now I'm just magically in love. No, that comes with work. And I feel like we're a lot of us are getting away from that work. We just want things to happen, right? We live in a microwave society where things are just supposed to happen like that. And the truth is, it's not going to. Right now, this I could go on to this topic, and this probably should be a separate video because I'm not saying to accept any other type of love and make it work, make it work, make it work, or to stay through the thick and the thick and the thick and the thin. I'm not saying to do any of that. All I'm saying is relationships take work, right? Building a connection takes work. We have to trust our instincts more. We have to learn how to recognize green flags, red flags. We have to learn how to do all those things in order for our relationships to work. And if you want that for yourself, if you want to have a relationship to where you're wide open and you're vulnerable and you're in love, right? That does take work. That takes trust. That also means you have to show up a certain way. You cannot expect to only date perfect people when you're showing up in an imperfect manner, when you yourself are not perfect, and nobody's perfect. Till next time, y'all, take care.